Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're having a good day. This is going to be my first channeled message. I've had channeled messages before, but this is the first one that I've been led to make a video about. Um, and so I'll jump right into it. If you had a childhood where you had to grow up too fast, you saw or went through things no one, especially a child, should have to go through. If you feel like your childhood was stolen from you, things like that, then this video is for you. So, when I say channeled message, I mean from the divine, from the Lord, from Yeshua, from God. I heard a message kind of about this in a video I was watching, but he gave me more details into it, more insight. And so, pretty much what he's saying is that it's time to let go of that hurt. He's not saying that it wasn't a hurtful situation, or that you didn't go through anything, or that, you just need to get over it. It's not like that. So, what he's saying is that it's time to break these generational curses, and it's time to break these bonds that Satan has over us. It's time for us to just be free. Satan no longer can hold us down. These chains are being broken, and God is telling you that you are carrying mountains that you were meant to climb. These burdens that you're carrying are not yours. It's time to, this is mostly the channeled message that's coming up, that is what he told me about, and this can really help a lot of people. So you might be asking, okay, sure, I want to get past it. Sure, okay, that all sounds great. How do I do that? So this is what, and I'm here I'm in my house. I have my head covering over me. I'm touching the Bible right now, and I'm really with the Lord right now, and I can feel Him. Okay? So I'm not just saying, oh, this is a channel message when it's not, you know what I mean? Like, the Lord is sitting right here by me right now. Okay? So this message is for you. This is what you do. Go back to the events, times, and you can do these one by one. Well, you should do them one by one. Anything that you're remembering that really hurt you, really broke you, really scared you, traumatized you, changed you for the worse, go back to those events. So, for example, say it was a bullying event. Someone bullied you, maybe pushed you down, called you names, maybe even held at gunpoint, persecuted you, whether it be for your religion, the way you looked, the way you act, something characteristic about yourself. Go back to that moment. Feel for one last time all that hurt, that pain, just this sadness deep in your soul that you felt during this time. Go back to that time and put yourself back in that environment. Was there trees around, flowers? Was it by like a mountain? Was it by a lake? Go back into, like, pretty much go into your body as a child. So, like, time and space is kind of an illusion. That's kind of a whole nother topic. But so pretty much all the ages of you are existing right now. That's why people do carry around their child wounds, because that child them is still coexisting. Okay, so go back into your child self in that moment. Feel that pain again, right? And then you want to save yourself as a child, like for you, if that makes sense. Like you need to be who you needed in that moment as a child. So what you have to do is you now, like the you that you are now, whatever age that may be, go into that scene, that situation. So I'm just gonna make one up. Say I was pushed down and it was like kind of by a lake, and then say they called me ugly. Okay. So what I would do, my me adult, I would vision going to that time. I would, I'm imagining all the scenery, etc. I see myself get pushed down, I feel all the hurt and things like that. And then me as the adult goes in, I pick up my child self. I literally pick yourself up off the ground and then give the child you a hug and tell them everything is going to be okay. And then you can tell the bully if you want, that's not nice, get away, or just go home. Say something to that bully person, or whatever makes you feel better. Act like you were a real adult, entering that situation. Like, what would you have said, And so what you're doing with that is you're transmuting the pain into light. You're transmuting the darkness into light. And you know what that actually is? That is being a light worker. So you're a light worker when you can transmute darkness into light. Don't you think that that's the devil's worst nightmare? So the devil is putting all this darkness everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Imagine if all that darkness is turned to light. I mean, it would just burn so bright the devil would die, right? And so that's what we need to do. Like, the Lord is really telling me, like, it's time, because what I'm getting is that these childhood wounds are really holding people back in life. So, like, whether it's career or relationships or just having a peace of mind, and God's telling me that it's been too long. Like, God, He knows your heart, and He knows everything that you have walked, He walked before you. So He knows that pain. He knows what it's like to be persecuted. He knows. And He was right there with you when you were. So you might say, oh, why did God let that happen to me? Like, how could He let that happen? So that's a whole nother thing. Those of you that have had very, traumatic childhoods, had to grow up too fast, you now as an adult and, even, adolescent and early child, all your ages since then, it's gotten you to where you are this moment where you're watching this video. You're able to be more spiritually aware. And first I want to, before I go into that, so the crack lets the light in, right? So your childhood kind of cracked you open, okay? And now it's time to fill that crack with light. So where there's light, there can't be darkness, okay? So what we need to do this is a whole nother topic too, but we're going from 3D Earth to 5D Earth. And what that means is we all need to be raising our vibration right now. And how we do that is we go through our past and we transmute all of our pain. This, you can research into it. There's a whole lot of, and feel free to email me, ask me questions in the comments, but yeah, so pretty much, that's how we do it. And this is, when you do this, it's not just for yourself. This is for humanity. This is for the world. This is for your future generations and your past generations. When you're clearing these wounds, whatever they may be, especially, your future generations, okay? So someone out there might be like thinking, this world is too bad of a place. I don't want to bring any more children into this world. It's just horrible. And, I see your point, but at the same time, there's a lot of spiritual babies that are wanting to come into this realm right now. And so we need to get ourselves ready. So we need to clear our pains, our past traumas, transmute them. Like, it's time. Satan no longer can have a hold of us. We have spiritual babies that are trying to come onto this planet right now. That's a whole nother channeled thing. Okay? And so we need to be free of these traumas for this future generation, whether you have a baby or not. So say you're a kindergarten teacher, right? And you don't have any babies of your own and never will or something like that. Okay, but when you're interacting with these children, things like that, it's just this whole new generation of babies. They need to have none of this trauma, okay? So this is a whole nother thing too that I'm about to go into. Right now, the world is being cleansed, like, of evil, okay? I can't say too much, but a lot of people you may have looked up to, whether politically or celebrities, okay, they were bad people, okay? And I'm hoping everyone will find all this stuff out soon, but there's some very evil things going on in the world, and right now, it's being cleansed. These people are being taken care of, if you know what I mean. And it's not in the news or anything. You might think I'm crazy, like, what is this girl talking about? I'm telling you, why have you seen not many celebrities on TV? Why have no new movies been coming out? The celebrity scene is being shaken, politics. Okay, so the world is being cleansed right now, and you need to do your part. Okay, all you have to do, go into, the main ones, if there's like, so many, or just do one event a day, or however you want to do it, but you need to go back into these events. Start with the worst one first. Just get it over with. Go to that worst event first, or worst 2, worst 3, okay? Go into these events, feel that pain, feel everything, and then transmute that into light. Okay, and I told you earlier how to do that. And you will feel the devil. So say you finish watching this video and say, okay, I'm going to do my first one tonight, like while I'm laying in bed. The devil is like, be prepared, because the devil is going to try to stop you. He'll make you super tired. He'll distract you on your phone. A good TV show will come on and then you'll be too tired. Who knows, your stomach might hurt, so you're not in the mood. You might get a really bad headache. Who knows, you might get in a fight with someone and then not be in the mood. So, you really, I hope you hang on to this video and do find time to transmute these things in your heart. And also, you need to transmute them for the child you. The child you doesn't want you living your whole life, with these burdens. And then another thing is, all along with this, is that sometimes these people, with these childhood wounds, they've learned things. So say, every time they were eating and say they were doing homework and they weren't spelling words fast enough, and the dad would hit them. Like, you're not spelling it fast enough, and then hit them or something, right? So it's like, the parent is teaching the child things they didn't maybe mean to teach them or things like that, but what they taught that child in that moment is that if you don't have control, it's a bad thing. So the child had no control over that, right? He can't control his dad hitting him or things like that. And so every time he feels not in control, he thinks it's something bad. But like, for example, it could be like falling in love or something. You can't control that, right? And so now this person will not be able to fall in love unless they transmute their past. I mean, okay, yeah, maybe someone out there, yeah, their dad hit them and they're in love. Okay, yes. But if it was traumatic enough and bad enough, then, potentially not, unless they go back and transmute their past. And like going along with that, there's going to be somebody that loves you in your brokenness. So it's not to say that they don't want you to heal. They don't want the best for you. They don't want you to transmute your past, transmute the darkness into light. Of course, they want that for you. But there is someone or people, your soul family, your soul tribe, there's people out there that will love you in your brokenness. So, they might even know about your past. And it doesn't scare them. It doesn't make them think you're broken. Anything like that. They just love you. It's unconditional love. That's a whole other thing right now. It's becoming big, and I've gotten channeled messages about, is that right now we are supposed to be giving out unconditional love. So it means no conditions. So no matter your past, no matter how you look, no matter what you think you're worth, we are coming into a time of unconditional love. That's another reason why you need to transmute your past, because it's hard to unconditionally love people when you're holding on to so much anger, hate, traumatized feelings from your past. It's hard because you're like, no, you know what? Like, everyone in this world is bad, things like that. I'm not gonna unconditionally love people, It's a very hard thing to do when you're holding on to your past that tightly. And so after you go through, the main events, things like that, that traumatized you, changed you, and then so say it really helped and things like that, and then you're kind of living your life, and then maybe it kind of pops back up again. Here's what you do. And again, guys, I still have my head covering on. I'm touching the Bible. The Lord is right here with me. I'm telling you, this is from Him. So this is what you do. So you thought you healed it, transmuted it, and then it kind of pops back up again one day. This is what you do. You go back into that time where you transmuted it, and you see yourself. Say you're 30. Okay, I'm 30. So say you see your 30-year-old self picking up your 5-year-old self. Just vision that. So the memory comes back. So say, because in that moment I gave the example, someone said I was ugly. So maybe you're in the dressing room at Target, you're trying on clothes, and you feel ugly, right? And then that memory of that person going, "You're so ugly," pops up into your head. Imagine your 30-year-old self picking up your 5-year-old self, telling yourself it's going to be okay, and that you're not ugly, that you're beautiful, okay? And you told the mean bully to go away. And there's far away is the east is from the west. That person, that bully, those words, they're as far as the east is from the west. They're not there anymore. The only word there is beautiful, not ugly. Okay? And if anyone out there, by the way, was told you're ugly, you are beautiful. You were made in the image of God. You are beautiful. And a whole nother thing going along with that is, you should be saying positive affirmations to yourself. So, kind of depending on what your trauma was, you might need to say, like, I'm worthy of a happy future, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm funny, I'm a good friend. If someone tried to make you feel like you weren't a good friend or something like that, and you are, just like really depending on what your circumstance was, make positive affirmations around that and say them to yourself. Make post-it notes, put them on your mirror, put them on your desk area. So, just looking at my notes. So yeah, I kind of touched on this, but I really want to say it again. If you're wondering, why did God put me through that? Let me tell you. So say, let's see, say my dad pushed me, okay? Fortunately, this is something that didn't happen. It did not happen. So say it did happen, and say my friend comes to me, and they're like kind of talking to me about their past, saying, their dad used to hit them and things like that. So, do you think, like, it would be beneficial to me to have experienced that too, right? I can say, I know, like, my dad used to do that too, um, and we can kind of have a bond over that in a way and talk about it. And I can tell her maybe what I did, to kind of help cure it, or, just things like that. But say I didn't go through that, I don't have much to say. I can try to comfort her and be there for her, but I might not have too much to say on it. Okay, so point one is that you might be called to help people who have gone through similar things, okay? Because they would trust you kind of, or like hear you out a little bit more since you've been through it too. You know what I mean? So, number one, you might be called to help people who went through a similar thing. Number two, that cracked you open more than the average person because you're supposed to have light flood in to you. So, it's not to say that someone with a perfect kind of childhood, isn't meant to shine their light and stuff like that. It's not saying that. It's just saying that you have a greater chance of your spiritual awakening, or, being cracked open, I want to say being able to hear the voice of God more, but not necessarily, but like it might have caused you to reach out to God earlier than you maybe would have. And maybe you needed that extra time with God. So, for example, say someone had like a perfect childhood or something. Okay, they might not find God till like, 30 or something. But say you like went through all this like stuff as a child, you might have been calling out to God since you were 5 years old. And maybe God needed that extra time with you because He is instilling different skills in you, different feelings in you that you can help others with. Okay? So, it might have something to do with your life mission, humanitarian work that you're supposed to do. Okay? So that goes all back to transmuting the darkness into light. So if you could take your brokenness and help someone else and give them light, oh my gosh, the devil is going to be so mad. And Yeshua is going to be so proud of you. And, I don't know what you went through as a child, but I want you to know that I'm reaching my hand out to you guys now, and I just want to give you guys all like a huge hug, and I want to like almost thank you for your service, because like kind of what I was saying is that I feel like you're gonna help others because of that. And the fact that you went through that to help others, so I don't like, I kind of feel like we thought of our life kind of before we came here. So what I'm saying is you agreed to do that in order to help others. And so I just want to say thank you. And like, I feel like that's all I can say to you. I mean, I know that might sound weird, but like, I know that you're going to transmute the pain and use it for light for yourself and for others. So here's the thing. So if you go to the past and transmute it and you turn it into light, so yeah, of course, like if someone comes up to you and you know they went through the same thing, you help them, yeah, that's gonna give them light, right? But also people in general. So maybe you're checking out at Publix one day and the cashier is kind of having a bad day, and your light is just shining so bright, and you know maybe say something nice to her, compliment her, just bring good energy. Like I'm not even kidding. Like sometimes just being around someone with good energy can just kind of change your attitude, right? And so you just going through her line, maybe saying a couple things to her, giving her some of your light, some of your good energy, that right there, you change your darkness into light right there. So again and again and again and again, everyone you interact with, it was changing darkness to light, darkness to light. From when you transmute it now, my point is it's going to have a ripple effect. You transmute your past now, it'll ripple onto someone at Publix, and then maybe they ripple it out. Everywhere you go, you have this light now, and then future generations that you bring into the world has this light, okay? So I just hope that you understand that your past was not in vain. You are going to use that to help others, okay? There's going to be a big time of humanitarian work coming up, I believe. And so I hope you use your past to kind of navigate, you know, what type of humanitarian work you want to kind of lean towards. Even if your childhood wasn't like super bad or something, if you really like think about it, I think you can kind of think about what type of humanitarian work you want to do. It'll kind of come to you, or just pray about it. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy to transmute your past and turn it into light, but what God is saying is that, like, it's time. You know what I mean? That's why let's go into our past and hug our younger self. And you have to realize that you did nothing wrong. As a child, you shouldn't have been treated that way. That event shouldn't have happened to you. Okay? You did nothing to deserve that. You are worthy of love. You're beautiful. You're handsome. You're lovable. You are amazing. You're smart. You did not deserve that. But God has huge plans for you. And I hope you see that. And I just want to say, like, thank you for letting me do this video, because I've really enjoyed, like, God is right here with me, like I've said. And, you know, I hope this video touches at least one person. like I said, this is a channeled message. Like a video I watched sparked this, and then I got more intel about this message I just gave you. And I just want to let you know everything's going to be okay, and we're cleansing the world right now of evil, and please do your part and get rid of the evil memories, that are kind of inside of you. The memory can stay there if you want it to, but within that memory should include the 30-year-old or, whatever age you, hugging yourself and telling yourself it's going to be okay. That's what the memory should include now. So every time that memory comes back to you, you're there, you're hugging that child you, and it's going to be okay. So email me if you have a prayer request, or put in the comments because other people can, see it too. Either way. And if you have any questions about like how to do this or things like that. Oh, another thing, you see the Bible verse there? Let me double check the verse. So that is Esther 4:14. Yeah. So that's a Bible verse. Perhaps you were born for such a time as this. So that goes into what I'm saying. Your past is allowing you to maybe help others that have been through the same thing or similar thing, or at least, someone else who had a traumatic childhood, right? You're going to have that in common with them. And, someone might come up to you today, tomorrow, in a week, and maybe they kind of start venting about something, and maybe you'll realize the connection it has to their past. You'll know the type of conversation if it comes to you. You might be thinking, hey, this might be rooted in their past, why this event is affecting them so much. And maybe you can just go off there and help them transmute their past a little bit too. Maybe they don't realize that their past has still, such a hold on them. And maybe you can tell them kind of what I said in this video, this message. Tell them, how to turn their darkness into light. So God has super huge plans for you. And if you feel like you are just going through it, so we just had the solar eclipse, which is the ring of fire, which that's what it looks like when there's the solar eclipse. So in birth, there's something called the ring of fire, which is when the baby crowns the baby's head, and it hurts and stuff like that, and then it's like one final push, right, until the baby is born. So spiritually, what that's saying is like, hold on right now, you just have to do one final push, okay, until this new birth, whether it's financially, relationship, just a peace of mind, freedom from your past, okay? It's the ring of fire right now. We just had the solar eclipse, just one final push, okay? And then it'll be over. The new birth that's been in your womb spiritually, building and building and building, that's gonna be birthed soon, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys for staying with me if you're still here. And I love you all, and Yeshua loves you. And sending big prayers to you all. And thank you guys, as always, so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.